YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here yet again. It is NFL Show Thursday night edition. Join as always, Stu. How you doing, man?
Doing good. A little bit tired here, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited. We got a good game to talk about. We got I wouldn't say good week to talk about because a lot of the games this weekend in general do kind of suck, but those shitty games do kind of tend to turn out to be good betting games. Similar into the UFC when you turn on, it's one of those cards where you don't even know who's like on the main card. You're like, okay, this one's probably going to be pretty good, actually, even though the name value isn't there. So, a lot of good stuff to talk about. Excited to get into the bets a little bit and, hopefully win some more money.
Yeah, I'm going to give a heads up here. Just a reminder, I will not be able to do a Friday show. And I've kind of thought my way through this and how I could make it happen, but it's not going to work because obviously in Mexico is a little different because it was our own room. We're in I come to find out, I thought it was just like 10 of us. I think it's like 20 in an Airbnb. So I'm like, okay, I don't think that's going to work trying to do a stream in a room with all these other people in the house. But maybe we'll do some write-ups or something for you guys, or we'll find a way to do something that still gets you guys.
Maybe I'll just get on YouTube and talk at the camera for like 30 minutes straight, just uninterrupted, just me right at you guys. And we'll see how you like that, a little punishment right there. But
yeah, dude, those are the hard ones, man. When you just keep going for that long, dude, it's so hard for me to like have enough like voice to keep going without like stopping every couple minutes. It's actually a lot harder than I thought.
I was going to say, it's like the voice control, like the breath. You like run out of breath. It's like giving a speech in real life. You like run out of breath at a certain point and you have to like tactically drink water at your pauses, take a deep breath. Like it's tricky. Yeah, I used to do these FTN college football videos a little while ago. And I had a co-host, Michael Govier, great guy. Go follow him. Great radio voice. But every once in a while, last minute, they'd be like, he's not here today. It's just you. And it's at like 9 a.m. as well. Like Friday morning, I was in college, fucking like hungover, and had to stare at the camera for like 25 minutes, and it was rough. Some of them were pretty good, but I don't know. It's definitely an acquired skill and something that I don't think people even really want to sit through that much either. When there's two people, you got the back and forth, you got stuff going on. If it's just one, it's a little bit harder to get there. You got to be a little bit, quicker.
No, for sure. It's I've had a couple of those like playoff preview ones where I'll go for like 20 minutes and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is tough. Like, who am I going to bounce ideas off of? They don't even get that. So we got some guys here in the chat already. We have 20 of you guys in here. We appreciate you. But Bucks looked rough. Big. Yeah. We'll talk about a recap here in a second. Cashville, we appreciate you guys. If you could hit that like button, we always appreciate it. Helps us out a ton. Don't know why it really helps us out, but it does. So it gets more people to come here and watch, right? It gets us to come here and watch. So we do have a Thursday night football game to talk about, but we will talk about Monday first. Stu, what's stuck out to you? We have the Lions first. We had Lions, Buccaneers. Obviously, the Lions get the job done. Very tough to take all of it on the Buccaneers with just all the injuries that have just happened, and obviously Evans going out before he even got a catch. What's your thoughts there on that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was easily Baker's worst game of the year, maybe since last year as well. I mean, he was overthrowing everybody, wide open guys, had some missed touchdowns, like just a disgusting game. And when you fall behind like that, and you're just that brutal, there's no way you come back, So it was unfortunate. I had Goff passing yards, and that was the best like CLV I had all year. And he obviously came up like 6 yards short, which is always annoying, where it's like, really, we couldn't pass for like 15 yards in the second half, It's like Judkins rushing earlier in the week. So a couple of those kind of like annoying losses kind of ended my night. I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with these games. So it was just an ugly game. Gibbs had some live rushing on him, at least. That was nice. Obviously kind of took care of business. But yeah, the Lions are good. It's kind of what I said on here. It's why I didn't want to take the Bucks despite it being such a great number, because the Lions are surprisingly legit this year.
Yeah, and my thing too, I had the same number as you in like a buy down. I think I had it at 245 or something like that. And, the couple of those, I was curious about what the fuck was happening. Like the fourth down in the interception. Like, Since when did if the both players go down with the ball that it goes to the defense? That one was very weird to me.
Yeah.
Fourth down, same thing with Otten again. I thought he was past. I thought he was past the line to gain, and then they're like, nope, we're gonna call that back, even though they ruled it a first down on the field. It was just it's a lot of shitty things that all kind of compounded to get the Bucks to get to that spot, because obviously that's 2 turnovers right there that they were driving on. So. Tough game there for the Bucks. Obviously, more worried about Evans. They're going to be out for a while. I don't know if you saw, but Buccaneers already ruled out Bucky and Chris Godwin for this week as well. So, thank God, because I need it. I have a lot of Bucky in best ball, but in my big fantasy league, I have Kenneth Walker, who's dog shit anyway. I'm by. Rachaad White got me through all my bye weeks with all my running backs, Breece Hall, all those guys. So, hey, shout out Rachaad White for getting us there on all these bye weeks for my running backs, because my running backs just suck anyway. And we'll talk about White here. I'll kick it over to you to talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a result of them being being bad. He got over. It was interesting. Not the best read in hindsight, but it worked out. The problem was they played a ton of man coverage, and I wrote about this in my Substack write-up. But the big question here is are they just going to keep playing man and keep being aggressive, despite the fact that they literally lost their whole secondary? To about 90% of NFL teams, the answer would be no. To the Lions, the answer was still yes. So they were much more aggressive than I thought, and White was in one-on-one coverage the whole time, which is not something you want to see for a running back. You want that zone. You want those easy checkdowns. So we got a little bit lucky here, but a big part of it was also that they were underdogs, and that trailing game script was always going to be a part of it as well. So, lucky is a stretch, but it didn't go how I wanted it to go, but we still got the job done. It's still cash.
Hey, having multiple paths of victory, man. That's what we always ask for. So, luckily for me, I got the buy down on golf and got him at 230. So I had the 230, 220. Baker looked dead in the water. I think he had 35 in the first half. But I think he had 28 completions in that game and barely hit this fucking number. Shout out to my boy Kate Otten to cash me my I had a single 3, I think it's the 3-game DFS lineup where it was the primetime one. And Kate Otten was 15% owned, and just obviously took over that game late in there. But yeah, awesome to see both get there. Obviously, Goff did 90% in the first half. I was very surprised at how conservative they went when they were up those 2 scores, because we've kind of seen them, hammer the pedal down a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But I thought we would get a little bit more from Goff, unfortunately, but is what it is.
It was the problem is Gibbs is breaking off 50-yard runs. So when you just immediately run it in for there's no time to pass, and then the good field position from the Mayfield failing on those 4th downs, it was just unfortunate. But yeah, that Goff, probably one of the worst losses I've had in a while, just because it's really we lost you know what I mean, a lot of them, if I lost Rachaad White, I'm okay, didn't go how I wanted, whatever. Really, he had fucking 225 pass yards in the first half, just dominating, getting everything you wanted, and then just can't even get any fight from the Bucks to keep it close. So unfortunate part about betting, but that one definitely stung, and I'm sure we kind of briefly talked, but I fucking pretty much went to sleep for the second game. I had Elijah Arroyo touchdown. He had 2 targets on the first drive, another red zone target, does not get in the end zone. I go, okay, well, he's obviously not scoring after this. I'm taking my ass to bed. So went to bed pissed off at no Arroyo touchdown. And 900's a great price. He got those targets. It's going to be fucking 400 again next week. That's when he scores. The fucking life cycle of this shit, but still probably going to play it again. Still want to, be on the receiving end, because obviously the call was very good for a plus 900 play, but did not get in the end zone, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I know our boy Coop on here brought up Noel a little bit there. And yeah, he was the guy. I thought it was going to be Hutchinson for the 40 yards. But we picked the wrong one. So 2-0 on our straight bet. So obviously that moves our record to a pretty nice one. We're starting to get a little healthier total there. We like building up those numbers. So even if we do have a shit week, we're still on the green. And I know after 2 weeks, we were down 3.5 units and flips back quick.
Yeah, no, it's good to see that number right there. It's good to stack up those winning shows, and hopefully we get another one today. So, before we get in, I will say drop questions, comments, leave a like, all that good stuff if you haven't already. And yeah, excited to get into it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are going to the one game that we get to talk about this week. I know we've been spoiled with these 2-game NFL slates on Mondays, but we get to talk about a pretty good primetime game. I mean, we've definitely seen worse. We got the Vikings at the Chargers. Chargers right now -3, over under 44.5. Obviously, the news came out that Wentz will start again. I think they put Brosman is their backup. They don't even have freaking JJ McCarthy even out there. I don't even know if he traveled with them. I don't know, but we got an interesting one there. Vikings coming off of that loss to the Eagles. Chargers obviously getting spanked by Indy, which just seems to be a common occurrence to every team at this point with Jonathan Taylor, my Badger, scoring 3 touchdowns in 3 of his last 5 games. That's fucking crazy, bro. But I digress. Let's get to this one. Stu, we got our sides. Obviously, this is our big screen game. It's the only one we're talking about today. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this should be a good one. I mean, this I will say the spread here gives me super strong Texans Seattle vibes, where it's going back and forth between 3.5. Everything as a bettor in me kind of tells me that the dog is the right side. But I feel like when all is said and done, the Chargers are still going to kind of walk away with a win right here. I think the interesting thing is Joe Alt and Pipkins, who sucks, but at least he's a starter, are both back, or not back. We don't know, but they've been practicing. It looks like they're on track to play. When they asked Joe Alt if he's going to play, he said that's the plan. So that's a big deal. Joe Alt was top 10, pretty much every metric you could look at in terms of pass protection, great offensive lineman out there, and something they absolutely need to kind of stabilize this team, especially when you talk about a Vikings team that we know they want to turn up the heat. They want to blitz. They want to get pressure on the quarterback. That's kind of what they're built off of. And that's the way that you can get to Herbert right now with how that O-line has been built. They've just been dumping it off, quick pass, quick pass, quick pass. And I think, I don't know what other choice they have. They don't have a running game either. So when you look at how you kind of supplement the run game, Vidal's had, I don't remember what his box score was last week, if he ended up doing anything, but obviously he had that really good game versus Miami. I have no faith in him on the ground as a consistent running back. The other guy they have is Naeem Hines, who, missed like 2.5 years and is now coming back. Good for him. Good story. We need Tariq Cohen next if we're bringing back small pass catching backs. But yeah, just not a real intimidating running game. So what do you do when you can't get the run game going? A little short passing is an extension of it. And it's interesting because the Vikings are one of the bigger run funnels in football, but it's like, can the Chargers take advantage of that? I'm not necessarily sure. So when I look at this game, I see a lot of different outcomes. I think you could make good arguments for both the over and the under, to be honest. I think I'd want the final injury report if I was an over bettor, because if Joe Alt is out, then that just really limits the ceiling of the Chargers offense, not necessarily like the floor. I think the quick passing stuff will still be there, but like if you want that downfield passing, if you want to bet Quinn and Johnston this week, like I would need to know that I got, your offensive lineman in there protecting him. But all that to say, for the actual pick, despite the fact that I do like the Chargers, I'm going to go the Vikings side, and I'm going to be a little greedy. I'm going to take 3.5, -115. I know we're not actually betting it, but just for, rhetoric's sake, like if you're looking at it right now, I'd rather get that hook at -115 on FanDuel just because it's such an important number. I see a field goal game either way. I'm a little concerned, but I think it's a good buy low. I've watched a lot of Carson Wentz over the years, even had a stint in DC. Last week was part of the Carson Wentz experience. It doesn't necessarily define who he is, but he has those yikes games, no doubt about it. And he can bounce back to being a pretty standard backup. So Chargers defense is kind of beat up. It hasn't looked as good with the injuries and stuff in general. I have enough faith that the Vikings can keep this game competitive. So I'll take the dog.
Okay. I mean, I feel like I just got to take overs in these Thursday games until it burns me. I think I've done it the last 3. And I think 2 of the 3 have just blown over the total here. I think the Vikings will still be able to move the ball. Obviously, I like how you call it the Carson Wentz experience. I do. I enjoy to see that because I mean, Hawkinson should eat here. We just saw fucking Warren do whatever they wanted to fucking Chargers. And you go on top of that, you got Jefferson, Addison. It's just, I mean, Addison, I know everybody was arguing at the beginning of the year who the best number two receiver. He's got to be right up there, man, as the best number two guy on a roster here. So obviously, Addison go for 125 last week. I don't know. This is going to be just I feel like both defenses are going to struggle in this game. I think I'm going to find my way to start Herbert over Dak this week in my non-money league. And the other one, I don't have an option because Jane Daniels is ruled out already. Probably be 18-point dogs in that game. So I don't know. I feel like I have to go with 44.5. And I wouldn't mind doing the little 6.5 point teaser with Vikings and buying down the over there. I feel like that would be a good spot to get some of those points. I do think it's a close game.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. Obviously, I mean, I would say my biggest concern once again to the over in general is just the O-line on most if for what because everyone's kind of penciled in Alt and he did say he plans to play, but the wording I'm reading is definitely there's some questions still. It's not 100%. And I think that would be what prevented a little bit of shootout. And then the other thing is my boy Derwin James would not appreciate that disrespect there with Hawkinson can do.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to do you think he's just going to stay on him the whole time? Because he didn't do that last time.
No. Yeah. But when you look at a guy who can escape Derwin James? Who has the most creative tight end usage in football? It's Warren, 100%. Yeah. I mean, would they get him in all these different movements, alignments, and everything like that? They can get him wherever. Hawkinson doesn't do all that. He's lining up in line.
Hey, I'll sacrifice that boy. Sacrifice him, bro. Just throw him into the fucking fire and just watch Addison and fucking Jefferson do whatever they want. Because I know we talked a little bit about the Chargers on Monday. So if you want to hear us talk about that a little bit more, just how they got shredded in that first half last week, it was just, I mean, they didn't even get to third downs. They weren't even getting third down opportunities because they were just getting first downs in 2 plays every time. So obviously Indy is one of the best offenses in football. Hey, shout out my boy Daniel Jones. He's still doing the thing, man. He's still doing the thing for your boy here. I'm very happy to be as overweight as I was in preseason best ball because he's a top 5 quarterback in redrafts right now, which is fucking nuts. But we got 25 of you guys in here live, ready to go. Let's get to it. Stu, I'll kick it over to you. Take it away. First bet of the day.
Sounds good. We're going to Justin Jefferson over 5.5 receptions. I mean, this is one of those that kind of immediately jumped out to me when I was scrolling through. Just seeing a 5.5 on Jefferson anytime is pretty interesting. This is a guy that commands elite volume. This is almost like a JJ McCarthy number. You know what I mean? When they're not passing and they're running all game long. So I don't know, to see a 5.5 in a game with the Chargers, who we know can play in these upscale, upbeat offensive environments. We've just seen back-to-back weeks. Obviously, the Colts demolished them. Dolphins put up 27 on them. I mean, this is a defense that's obviously, injuries are a part of it, but they've been beat up pretty bad in the second half of this short season already, despite kind of being hyped up to start out the year. I think Minter is a good defensive coordinator. And obviously, I'm not going to hold last week against them as some people might, just because, once again, I do have respect for what the Colts are doing. I mean, they're the most efficient offense in football so far this year. They look awesome out there. So, I don't really blame them too much for getting beat up by that. But just in general, this matchup right here, Jefferson jumps out to me because I was kind of talking about it earlier. The Chargers do a couple things. One, they're pretty good against tight ends in general. Obviously, last week, Tyler Warren is really good, and he has really good usage. But more importantly, it's not just he's an inline tight end. They use him all over the place, and that kind of is the reason why I feel like he's able to be so – and one, he's so part of their scripted plays. The guy's averaging 30 first quarter yards. It's crazy. Every first series, every first couple drives, he is such a big part of what they do. And I was even kind of looking at the under last week just because it got to 60, 65 for Warren. I was like, holy shit, that's super high. He went over, but it wasn't even by much. I know he had a good game, but by market expectation or whatever, it was kind of average-ish. So I don't know. I think it's one of those where Hawkinson is a guy that his role has already been kind of up and down in this offense. He really kind of disappears at times, and you're like, where's this guy even at? And now you get Derwin James. He's not someone I'm as worried about. Addison, I feel like I wouldn't really want to buy Addison off of a 120-yard game. He's more that boomer bust Jamison Williams kind of from last year vibe for me for the wide receiver too, where he can beat you downfield. He's awesome. But one, he's not better than Justin Jefferson, right? He really doesn't do anything better than Justin Jefferson. But what he does do best is win downfield, right? The Chargers, I mean, Addison can like kill you in those man coverage situations, especially, but the Chargers are the second highest zone coverage team in football this year. I really think they're just going to sit back and be like, no, we're not going to get beat 40 yards at a time. We got Herbert as well. We can move the ball down the field. Like, we're going to try to keep this, chunk plays, 15, 10, whatever, intermediate, but you're not going to beat us super deep. I think that's going to be the game plan here. And when you look at who can take advantage of that better, it's obviously Justin Jefferson, because sure, he's a killer down the field, runs amazing routes, but he can also absolutely crush you over the middle, just 15 yards at a time. We know he's going to get a screen or two, especially if the offense isn't looking good, just as a built-in, 1 to 2 little yard in front of the line of scrimmage target. You get your best players the ball, and that's how it works. I think the biggest question mark, I guess, would be if they just run the ball a shit ton. Aaron Jones should be back as well, which should take a couple carries away from Mason. But the Chargers did get Perryman back, their linebacker, which is pretty big. Troy Dye missed last week, but he's questionable. Their safety missed last week, but he's questionable. Like, they should be getting a little bit healthier here. And honestly, I think the healthier the Chargers are, like, the better in offensive game environment there is going to be. And finally, teams that have played the Chargers defense this year have posted the third highest pass rate over expectation against them. So teams are passing at a league high rate against the Chargers. When you look at wide receiver ones and how they've done this year, it's been awesome. Pittman, 7 for 58 last week, but Pierce also had a great game. Waddle, 6 for 95. Deebo Samuel, 8 for 96. Cortland Sutton, 6 for 118. Myers, 6 for 68. And Hollywood had that 10 for 99 game. So every single healthy wide receiver one missed or hit this number. The only guy that missed was Malik Neighbors when he got injured in that game. So I just see a lot of good things here. I don't see what's pushing me away from betting Jefferson besides maybe he gets a 70-yard catch and doesn't go over receptions. I guess that could be like the negative here, but I don't know. I just think the Chargers are going to sit back a little bit more in that zone and just kind of force you to pick your spots. And Jefferson should just be able to crush in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and also, I mean, you also got to remember Quinyon Mitchell did come back last week. Was on Jefferson, obviously, more than he was on Addison in that game. And, I mean, is there a worse quarterback, too, than Adoree Jackson right now? That dude's fucking trash. And that's who Addison was against most of the time last week. So, fuck yeah, I would avoid Quinyon Mitchell, too, even though he was coming back off the injury. That's just something else to kind of put on the fact that you saw Addison open that much. He is wide receiver too, but he's got a skill set of a wide receiver one, right? Obviously the speed, downfield ability, but that's a huge drop off. Like that's like 10-step drop off from Quinyon Mitchell to Adoree Jackson. So that's also another thing on top of everything on why probably last week we saw Addison go crazy there.
100%. And now you got to go from Quinyon Mitchell to Benjamin St. Juice, freaking Washington legend.
Shaking in the boots, man. Shaking in the boots.
He's still sticking around in the league over at the Chargers. So
he was with you guys, right?
Yeah, he was my least favorite player, like in the last 10 years, honestly.
And that's saying something, man. That's saying something.
I know, because out of his rookie year, he had some like really good moments. And I'm like, this guy, he's like a big physical corner with some good speed. I'm like, this guy could be fucking good. And then legitimately 5 years of awful corner play in a row after that. And it was hard to watch in that last year. So, he was a guy I actually talked about in write-ups and on the show a decent amount. I'm just like, fade whoever's going to be on St. Juice. So Washington had some embarrassing corner rooms. Him and then that freaking short dude we drafted who's on the Rams, Forbes now. Yep. St. Juice Forbes is a brutal 1-2 that we had defending fucking AJ Brown and fucking Devonta
consistently
Smith.
Twice a year.
Yeah, it was rough. It's rough.
Crazy. All right, well, I'm going to be heading to the other side of this game. I'm going to go to completions here for Justin Herbert. I did see our guy Thomas bring up What's up, guys? And this actually kind of leads more a little bit into what I'm thinking versus obviously what you're thinking here. Would you consider longest reception for Ladd, Quentin, and Allen, and also as Herbert? I don't have faith in this offensive line enough to even give him enough time to throw the ball down the field. I think it's just going to be get the ball out quick. I know you talked about this Chargers team. I think it was a couple weeks ago being one of the highest passer rate over expectations in the league, which is completely baffles me after last year how much they ran the football. Now they're just going. Obviously, you don't really have the ability to run the ball that much with those running backs and all the injuries there. I think we see a lot of those bubble screens. We saw a lot of those Keenan Allen 8-10 yard catches. I mean, I don't know if we saw Ladd in the second half had like 6 catches. He had 6 catches. I know the yardage didn't stack up, but that's great for me as a Ladd fantasy owner to see him kind of getting, the double-digit targets coming back around there. I do think I'd rather lean with those two than I would over Johnston. I know Johnston is obviously a little bit more of the downfield threat. Obviously, I think he's taking a huge step forward this year. This is the tough part is I think everybody's going to be on Gadsden this week, just coming off of that huge week. I'm staying away. There's just too many options here. And too many mouths to feed, and there's 4 of them. I know a lot of people after the first couple of weeks were super down on Ladd because obviously he was getting everybody else involved. But I think we start seeing that uptick go back a little bit more towards Ladd there than the Johnson in like needing to get him the 10 targets that he was getting early in the season. I think people just kind of left him open because he wasn't able to catch the ball these last few years. But Herbert has hit this number in 3 of his last 5 games. And actually he's done it against pretty decent defenses. Obviously last week was, a little bit more of an anomaly. It's kind of an outlier game where they were able to, this is exactly what you want as a guy betting on these guys. They were able to stay within that 14-point mark. And every time that they got up 21, the Colts immediate response. And then obviously the Colts didn't get it. And now they're back in the game. It's like, oh shit. And then they're just throwing it 55 times. But what I do like is they're still throwing short passes, right? I believe his air yards are 4.3 air yards per attempt right now. Obviously, that does not hurt when you have Ladd and Keenan Allen, who are both still very good after the catch. You're going to get a couple dump downs throughout the week, with those running backs. I don't even know they're on running back 5 and 6 right now. I believe it's Vidal and Haskins are the only 2. But we saw Vidal get 5 targets. Haskins gets 2, and then they caught 6 of them. They had 6 catches, and didn't get shit for yards, right? So I think they had a total of 17 yards on 6 catches, which, hey, we'll take it, man. We'll take it. Those are easy completions, and they count just as much as in a 70-yard bomb. So I think we see a lot of dump downs. I think that they're going to have a little bit of an issue with this blitz of the Vikings, like a lot of teams do, and Brian Flores. So give me those quick outs, right? Give me those quick ones to Keenan Allen, Ladd McConkey, a couple of them down the field to Johnson to open it up a little bit. But I want to bet a lot of these guys. I'd rather just go to the quarterback. Sign me up for Herbert.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I feel the same way. Like looking at the squad, like someone asked about Keenan Allen, it's like, man, it's real hard to pick between Keenan and Ladd. Like I have no clue. It's like both of them can occupy a lot of the same roles. They can do a lot of the same things well. And now you add in a guy like Gadsden as well, who's just, pretty much another one of these classic kind of like receiver tight ends, rookie coming in, making an impact here. And yeah, I want to bet him too, but those numbers are rough. You know what I mean? Like, man, it's like you're buying the ultimate high. And actually, for the long shot, I was going to come in here and just do touchdown, being kind of like Darnell Washington, where like, oh, all the other props got kind of juiced, but touchdown is good. Then I looked at his fucking touchdown price, and I was like, oh shit, the touchdown price sucks too. It's like plus 170 or plus 200. So, just kind of brutal. But all that to say, it's just hard to pick between these weapons. Like you said, Vidal, Haskins has been ruled out. That's why I was talking about Naeem Hines, who should walk into that 2 role. So both of them are pass catchers. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like dump down all day long. I'm fully with it. And yeah, the biggest question mark will just be like, can they hit Johnson on one of those big deep bombs? But the Vikings play a lot of cover too. They love to limit those explosives. They kind of blitz, but they're a zone blitzing team. They're not just going to sit back and man. So definitely like it. And yeah, I think Herbert has a good game. good bounce back, hopefully, too, with the O-line there finally, because he's been getting some shit. You know, Herbert needs to have a good game here to silence some of those Emmanuel Ochos of the world, you know?
God, I fucking hate that guy too. So it's so frustrating.
I don't hear from him, by the way. All the Acho jokes are just from last year. Like, the guy has kind of fallen off, which is good. Like, he got his hate. Now all these Nonas is like the Herbert hater or like occasionally like a Twitter fingers guy. But, you know, you don't hear from him any. I don't even know what network he's on. Like, I have no clue. So it's
he's not on one because he got fired from Fox. So he's doing it on YouTube, I think.
I assume he is like one of those Fox Sports 1 or one of those random, you know, radio things you see. But I don't know. Yeah, it's good that he's not in my orbit anymore.
Yeah, and the thing I will say is obviously Gadsden is really good. We talked about him at Miami last year with Ward and everything there, but
it was Arroyo, right? Wasn't Arroyo?
Arroyo was the guy for there. Yeah. Gadsden was orange. He was in orange, right?
Oh, Syracuse.
There we go. Yeah. I was gonna say in my head I know orange, and then I'm like, oh, Miami. Nope. I know where we're at. Syracuse. Because obviously, I'm like, I see orange in my head, and I'm like, shit, I should know this. I should know this right away. But he had 9 targets and had 7 of those get caught, right, for the tight end, and having a 50-yard catch in there is obviously something you don't.
It's all just like he's getting Keenan Allen routes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The tough part is you can't like think that he is going to throw the ball 55 times in a game regularly.
Yeah.
On top of that, Keenan Allen and Ladd had 29 targets combined in that game. That's the crazy part is like that's still barely over 50%, but like in a normal 40 attempt game, you're probably seeing closer to like 55, 60 still. I think the percentage wise on Ladd and Keenan are probably going to be there almost every single time with those underneath ones and the O-line being bad. It's just, I don't know if I want to take anybody besides those two outside of, you know, taking like a Johnson longest reception or taking a Johnson touchdown. You know, I possession guys here are what Herbert does well, man. Get it out of your hand quick. It's just I saw those numbers for targets, and it was Ladd 15 targets, and he just wasn't able to obviously break a big one. I think Keenan had a 30-yard catch in that game, and obviously Gadsden did too. But that was kind of when the game was like they were kind of chasing, you know, like they were down 21 and getting them there. So I just want to put that out there because Ladd's still getting 15 targets there.
Yeah, I'm mad I took fucking in best ball. I took like Will Dissly and like Conklin, like those losers, and I didn't take. I took like Gadsden like 2 or 3 teams, but in terms of like deep punts, I took the other guys more because I was looking, and every time you're taking like these punts in fantasy, you want to be like who actually might play. And I was looking, I was like, wait, the Chargers don't have any tight ends that people are drafting. Like all 3 of these guys are backups, so I figured one of them would hit, but obviously. A lot of rookie tight ends have been pretty good this year, so it's definitely been interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm just kind of pissed because, you know, I tell you, I had a decent amount of Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Now he's on IR.
2 weeks of hope, and then
he gave me 2 weeks, and I was feeling good, and then I went back, and I'm like, oh, shit, I had more Ferguson than I thought. I got 47% Jake Ferguson in best ball there. I believe he's tight end 1 right now. Obviously, knock on wood, go Badgers. Go Badgers. I have to have my hope with NFL Badgers because the college team fucking sucks.
Yeah.
They're so bad. Dude, how did they – let me put this on. How the fuck were they only – like, I think they were only 21-point dogs in their last game. You're playing Ohio State. What the fuck? Books, what are we doing here, dude? That was the most free money I've ever seen in my life. Holy shit. It was like 24 and a half. And the Badgers have scored like 3 touchdowns in Big Ten play. And you're going to score against a top 2 defense? Yeah. Okay.
No, I knew it was over when Maryland were like 7-point dogs against you guys. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it ended up, it was bigger. And then people started betting on the Badgers. And I'm like, why is this line going towards the Badgers now?
It was weird. So I was like, that was a fun one, I guess. But, you know, not been a great year for Wisconsin, unfortunately. But hey, shout out to Maryland, Malik Washington, not the slot wide receiver, but the true freshman quarterback. Dude's got a fucking cannon, absolute cannon. He reminds me, well, I don't want to say negative guys, but you know, like some Zach Wilson kind of types where dude can just like.
He was good. He was good in college, man, and that's the thing. Sometimes it doesn't translate, but he was very good in college. Like I won't talk shit about Zach Wilson college stuff because he was good.
Zach Wilson is just the go-to in my head of a guy that can hit an 80-yard bomb when he has a clear pocket, but when you ask him to like move in the pocket and throw it 8 yards, he looks confused. That's kind of the archetype of that guy. There should be a better name because when you say Zach Wilson, it's
automatic your bottom 2
yeah. He's a true freshman. The kid's got so much time to improve, but just in my head of like why can we hit the 80-yarders and not the 7-yarders? Is an interesting kind of archetype of player.
Awesome. Let's get a quick recap here, Stu, and then we'll get these guys out of here.
Sounds good. Yeah, we got Justin Jefferson over 5.5 receptions, -128. It's all in this -130 range. This is on FanDuel right here. And I would say just play it to like -145, or if it goes to 6.5, I'd probably go maybe like a half unit. But if it's plus money, still should be good.
Awesome. I'm gonna go Herbert 23.5 completions. -106. I think, as someone mentioned, FanDuel has moved to -102. So we have a good spot there on that. So you have a long shot in this game, or are we heading out for the week right here?
Well, once again, I'm not going to lie. I was in my head, I was like, Gadsden's going to be my guy. And then I looked at it, I was like, these prices suck.
They're ridiculous.
Gadsden definitely cannot be my guy, unfortunately. They're not.
That's what I said. I said people are talking about him. I'm like, why? Like, you're buying off a fucking high week, and the numbers, like, they don't even give you the opportunity to bet him.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it would be the only long shot I'm really liking right now would just be more Jefferson. It would be a Jefferson 100 and a touchdown, because I think some touchdown regression is coming as well. Hasn't really scored much. It's like +140 for a touchdown. That feels very good for a guy as good as Justin Jefferson. But I haven't really played around with it much. But like Jefferson ladders would be what I'm like. And I feel like I feel like I don't know, 5.5 feels disrespectful to me. So when I look at that and I see a guy that's seen 10 targets, 11 targets in his last 3 games, I'm like, let's run that ladder to like 8 catches. Let's run, touchdown and 100 yards at like +300-ish, stuff like that is really what I'm going to be looking at. Because I just think Jefferson's really good, obviously.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna go a little bit long shot here just because I'm very surprised at the number, and I'm gonna take Ladd at 8 catches. It's 395 right now for 8 catches. I'm not going yards, but I do like to see the uptick in targets. Obviously, I'm not using last week too much, but to see him having 7 targets, in some of these games that are, like the Bronco game, he had 7 targets, even though he only had 4 catches. I think we're going to see a lot more of those routes are a lot shorter. And last week we kind of saw that where he had like a 7.4 yards per catch. And I think that might be the way we do it here. It's just going to be those dink and dunks, make something happen. I like I said, I feel like it's going to have to be. That's how you're going to have to move the ball here. I don't think they're going to be able to run it with your boy Nyheim Hines. I don't think they're going to be able to do too much there. In the run game, and you don't want Vidal out there for 20 carries. What the fuck is that going to get you, 40 yards? So, and even if they do and they decide they want to do that in the first half, we just saw what happens if the Herbert's losing in the second half. It is just Chuck City, baby. And I think we might see one of those lad games here where we just get those dink and dunks all around the field.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, this is a team that has produced, when you play a lot of, cover 2 and you blitz a lot, it forces quick passes. That's what we always talk about. So the question is just Ladd or Keenan or, who's going to get it. And I don't know, but I don't know who's going to get it. But, might as well pick one, I guess. I don't know. I like Ladd a lot, so I don't know.
Yeah, I love Ladd, dude, obviously. But the fact that Keenan has better odds on this is crazy to me. I still can't do that. I can't take – because I'm coming off of the huge game from him, right? And it's just like Ladd almost went under the radar because everybody's talking Gadsden. Everybody's talking Keenan. And the guy had the most targets here is not getting talked about. And he's 50 cents cheaper, right? Because I think Keenan Allen's $350. And now I'm getting almost 400 for Ladd, who's obviously shown to be a good target for him every single time. And I'm not putting this into the world here, but it's a short week, and Keenan Allen is probably one of the most injury-prone dudes in the world. So I don't usually I will never bet him on a short week ever. So that's just another thing that kind of goes on to my thing here to just add on.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I think Ladd is a guy I'm always, feel pretty good about putting my money on. He's a good football player, and obviously Justin Herbert in a game we expect him to be passing. Someone's got to benefit,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything else from you, Sue, before we get out of here?
Let's see. You got any NBA or anything like that for us tonight? You got anything?
I have a couple NBA. I'll probably just post it on Action because I some of them are going to kind of move with some of these lineup changes, and some of these games don't even have everything out yet.
Our
Unfortunately,
teams are playing
but they're
today.
playing each other. I did see that.
A little matchup.
Holy fuck! What is Giannis going to do that front court? My God.
Could it be the Giannis triple double though, where Washington just double covers him all game and he gets a bunch of like everyone bets all the Giannis 40, he's back, and then he just does a nice little 10 assist kind of game.
Isn't the funny part that Giannis 40 points is only like plus 300? It's not even like fucking good.
Yeah. Also, I just checked triple double is also the same shitty price as well, so that's not even a good price either. So now
I don't know, dude. I think it might be a Miles Turner game here as well. Just on those kickouts because of all the double teams from the outside. I think Miles Turner turned. I think he's just going to do what Brook Lopez did, but I think he's just a better version of Brook Lopez on those kickouts.
Yeah, I'm a Miles Turner. I'm not a better of Miles Turner. Let's just say that. I did bet one guy though in that game to take advantage. AJ Green took him over 7.5 points. I think it's moved to 8.5. I still like that as well. Washington is not coordinated on defense. They really struggle. Like just when you double, when you send extra guys, just coordination. Who's gonna check that extra little white guy out on the corner? And the answer was nobody last year. So AJ Green's just a shooter. You know what I mean? He's a bucket. He's gonna benefit from that. Also another guy, Gary Trent Jr. I hate that guy. He's so fucking annoying to bet on. So his line is up at like 13. I'm like, nope, pass. I'd much rather get Green, who's looking like he's primed for a better, bigger role this year in that game. And I know Washington pretty well. I don't trust them to stop the three this year.
Yeah, I think I might actually do that with Miles Turner though today. It just kind of feels like they're going to force him the ball early, and he's going to obviously get all the minutes without Bobby Portis on the floor. And Bobby Portis, I feel like it's going to be 20 minutes. We'll see 28, kind of what they did with Brook and him last year. Dude, I might just go all the way up to 5 threes. Holy fuck, it's like 1,600.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Sense.
Like,
I'd rather play the ladder stuff than the
straight bets now.
And also, by the way, just point out, it's a really good and clear parlay. You can do the same thing with, I know it's ugly, with Alex Sarr on the other side. Same matchup. You got a bunch of tree trunks in the paint. It forces you to take those threes on the outside. Alex Sarr isn't scrapping with Giannis. He's not scrapping with Miles Turner. He'll take a couple of threes, though. I feel like it's so easy to just do kind of one of those Turner, Sarr, like 3+3, 4+3 kind of combos. And I bet you get a pretty good price tag as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you obviously have CJ there now, right? You guys got some other young guys there.
Be out of town though. I want the young guys to play. I've always liked CJ McCollum. I rooted for the Trailblazers in the West back in the day when their runs were going, but he has no real role. And I see Cashville talking about Cam Whitmore. We need to clear up room. I don't know how many minutes Cam Whitmore's. He's obviously going to shoot when he plays, but I need some injuries to pop up before I actually come in and bet on Cam Whitmore.
Yeah, you'll see a ton of fucking minutes for your boy Keyshawn George.
That's what I was about to say. George, I bet him at 10 points earlier today at -120. George, the only problem is I'm worried they ask him to guard Giannis a little bit, which I'm like, I don't want him to do that.
That's bully ball, baby. That's bully ball.
I know. Alex Sarr, this guy, the Wizards fans are way higher on him than I am. I'm Alex Sarr. You need to, hopefully we manned up a little bit in the offseason because you either need to be a center or a power forward. I think wants to be a power forward, but you're not good enough on offense to be doing all that. So I think it's going to be bully ball. I just hope George doesn't get asked to defend, but I do like his 10 points.
I absolutely love the Blazers this year, bro. I actually really, really like this team. I actually like that they're going to play some fucking defense, bro. That is going to be a good defensive team, bro. Like, when they're all healthy, that's going to be pretty fucking good. Obviously, Lillard will come in and not play defense, but that doesn't matter. We got Drew Holiday out there. Kamara is a phenomenal defender. And there was one other guy that I think they just got that I'm blanking on right now in my head. I don't know who I'm thinking.
Thibault on defense is
I'm not thinking of him. There's one. I thought there was one other guy that I was thinking, fuck, that's gonna bother me. But they had like 3 dudes that I was looking at. I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty good. Like they might actually play some fucking defense there on that roster, which is something we haven't really said much
Yeah, it's just Thibault is on there. I knew it.
No. Yeah, he is, but that's not the guy I'm thinking of.
Well, who's
he's
better
not going
than
to play
him?
that. He's not going to play that much.
Yeah, he will. Thibault will play a decent amount. He got a solid contract. He's one of the best defensive players in the league.
I know, but I think I was thinking. I think I might have been thinking of Robert Williams.
Okay, yeah, he's been around.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
The thing is, I think that he's going to have a hard time playing, bro. I don't think Thibault will play that much.
Well, no, it was a good guess to who you were saying. Is all I was.
Yeah. No, it was a good guess because like they have like 5 dudes on this team that won't fucking play a lick of defense. So it's kind of a nice thing to have where you have 3 dudes that don't actually play defense. I was thinking like guard, wing, post, like that they would have one for each one of those. Obviously Thibault is a good defender. I was just saying I was thinking of a big, and I'm like Thibault is not a big, and I just threw it out. So
I was a Blazers guy last year too. I mean, I liked him last year. I like him again this year with what they've done. Like I said, my boy Denny is still cooking. Drew Holiday obviously get that veteran presence. So I like that. I'm definitely a fan. Although with this game, I'm not really rushing to bet him against.
Yeah, it's a tough game.
All that nice thing aside, not really rushing to get him. The only other guy I'll mention before we get on here, I like Lonzo Ball, 3.5 assists tonight as well. Played a little bit of that.
3.5?
Yeah. He had 9 off the bench in their dress rehearsal game in preseason. He's gonna be look at their team. Try to pick another ball handler besides him. Donovan Mitchell is the only other guy, and they should be alternating minutes. Like there's gonna be opportunity there. So I like that. And also the Knicks. All pace, all preseason. One game they didn't even run any plays. It's just up and down, pace. So that's going to create more opportunities, more transition. And yeah, I like Lonzo assist. Lonzo's a bucket. I hope he has an Alex Caruso-esque season this year, a little comeback, because he's awesome. I'm a big Lonzo fan.
Yeah, I think one of my dudes I'm going to play this year, or at least tonight, in DFS is going to be low on the totem pole. Trey Jones. I think he's going to be my guy tonight.
For Washington.
No.
Oh, I was thinking Johnson.
Chicago.
The backup point guard. Yeah.
No Kobe White. And I think we start to see we see Giddey do a little bit more, I think he's going to be shooting a little bit more this year when you don't have Kobe White out there who's fucking 20 shots a game there. But it's hard to play DFS tonight because of the fuck up with PJ Washington price. They have PJ Washington at minimum salary.
Oh, really?
The boy's fucking a mid 6K player, and now he's free. So now Giannis is going to be 70%. You're going to see Cade 50% because it's just a free square.
That's almost kind of fun, though. Like, you don't
get makes it shitty. Like it's just 7-on-7. It's pretty much what your lineup's like, 7-on-7.
But that's kind of fun. I mean, and also if he doesn't pop off, if he doesn't play up, then you could theoretically pivot off of that. But if you're only doing 1 or 2.
Yeah, but when you're playing a 12 gamer, you're playing a 12 gamer, you're trying to be as different as you can. When those popular guys are like Devin Booker, probably 30%. Right. Yeah. I mean, Cunningham might push 40 because you just get a free square. You don't get to find value. You just have it. Like bad people in this industry will just automatically get the free square and just click on big guys because they can. The fun part is having to try to find the value to make those guys work. Now you don't even have to. It's just, all right, free square.
No, yeah, I get what you mean. And yeah, I mean, luckily I gave up DFS 3 years ago. So I'm not in those trenches. Once I was like, man,
I will only do it like on these early ones where like there isn't that many injuries or like all the stuff is out early.
I mean, it was just like every day I was like, I just couldn't eat dinner until after this fucking slate closed. Because if you try to cook during that shit, regular cooking time, at night, and you try to cook, oh my God, there's 50 underdog notifications. You got to change 4 lineups. You got to make 5 bets. Just like brutal. So I got respect for anyone still grinding out NBA DFS because you can make money, obviously, if you have the commitment. It's just the commitment is the tough part. And we got props now, so it's like, let me just bet these instead. But yeah, definitely shout out. And yeah, if you are an NBA or if you don't care about the NBA and you want the NFL stuff, just scoot back 5 minutes. It's right there.
Yes, sir. Well, we will talk to you guys soon. Me and Sue will be in talks on what we can get for you guys this week, and we'll figure it out. So we appreciate you guys' support as always. Make sure you follow over on Twitter, have the notifications on here so you know when we go live or if we're doing anything special there. But for sure, see you guys Monday. But just make sure you guys are following and have notifications on so you know when we got everything going for you guys. So have a good one, best of luck, and we will see you guys later this week.